to Charmed Rewind! Woo!
No, season 8.
Yeah, it's season 8. We're back in season 8, so you know it's a really good episode.
Yeah. Everyone's having an annoying off.
Yeah, this is, one of the most annoying ones. This is an episode where they tackle sexism.
Yeah. Solve it forever.
It's one of those plots, too, where it's like everyone has to be acting like unusually sexist at the beginning so that the plot can deal with these sexist issues. Yeah. I was going to say resolve them. It doesn't really resolve anything. It just sort of happens until the end.
It doesn't resolve a damn thing.
The winner of the poll this time, the Patreon poll, is Season 8, Episode 8, Battle of the Sexes. Or Battle of the Hexes. I said the thing that they're doing the pun on again. Yeah. Battle of the Hexes.
Do you like nice girls or naughty girls?
Huh? This was directed by LeVar Burton. Pretty cool, huh?
So they sure wasted LeVar Burton on directing this.
Yeah, we did another one that he directed too long ago. That he reviewed. He's a reviewer like us. Another one that he directed not too long ago. He directed a handful of them. And this was one of them. Battle of the Hexes. Well, it was really good, and 10 out of 10. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah. Not embarrassing in the slightest.
This is one of those episodes that was a direct consequence of they were in sexy costumes too many times, so the actresses said that they wouldn't do it. So then the networks have a sexy young lady in here, and then she'll dress in the sexy costumes.
Yeah.
So the first of many
Alyssa
Billie turns
Milano's
into something.
That's episodes. Too subdued. I would never wear that.
It's funny, the sexy costume in this one really isn't that wildly different from something that any of them would be wearing at any time.
Yeah, a midriff shirt and a skirt.
Yeah. But anyway, anything else before we hop into the episode?
Don't think so.
Okay. I guess, okay, real quick, I will talk about the plots happening in the show so far in this season. So they have just been resurrected from the dead, supposedly, because they'd faked their deaths, and then their cover story was that they were working with Homeland Security because Agent Murphy, played by Brandon Quinn, helped them out. So now they're doing odd jobs for them while complaining about that. And this is also the introduction of Henry, who is Paige's love interest for the season. And that might be it. Billie's there, and she's supposed to do shit for them.
Who brought my crappy daughters back from the dead? Yeah, this is... How long does Agent Murphy last after this? This was just a phase he was going through.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever episode the Margoyle episode was, that was his last one, because they're at the very end, he decided it was too tough to work with us. And it's what? Everything was going fine. There's a guy in this episode that talks to them that I feel like was meant to be Agent Murphy, but they didn't have Brandon Quinn for whatever reason, so it's just some guy Agent Murphy said to do this.
Yeah, it definitely came off like it's supposed to be him.
Maybe he was too busy. Maybe that's why he got written out of the show.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Or just Charmed didn't know where they're going with it and didn't keep someone long enough to finish it.
Maybe he didn't want to work on the show anymore. Maybe it just sucked.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's all the plot stuff going on. Let's jump into the episode. We open with Piper on the phone, and she is arguing about how she hasn't had a band at P3 lately because she's been helping Homeland Security. And whoever she's talking to hangs up on her.
I've been working with Homeland Security.
Whose problem is that? Why would anyone else care?
I think she must be trying to book a band.
Yeah, I know she is, but why is that person oh, well, I didn't realize. In that case, I'll get you a band?
Yeah, I guess she's trying to say, we're not losers. We can have band. I just was working with Homeland Security. And the plot, that sounds pretty unbelievable. So while she's talking on the phone, Leo is practicing his golf swing in the background. He's in the kitchen. Like, this episode and this episode only, suddenly he's golfer Leo. Because they're like, what do guys like to do? What's a guy thing? Golfing?
Golf.
He plays some golf.
He do the business deals while golf.
Yeah, he does business golf. It's like, I'm sorry, like, I know the actor's not really an old man, but Leo's an old man, but it's a very old man thing to do. But anyway, Leo is unconcerned with their failing business. He's like, whatever.
I'm gonna be on ice soon anyway.
Yeah, he's kind of checked out in this episode, isn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like Brian Krause is like,
Yeah. Brian Krause and Leo both don't give a shit.
Yeah. Leo starts to swing the club dangerously around. He's in his kitchen. He's like swinging it around like an idiot.
A shame if I accidentally hit Piper.
I'll blow you up.
Edging closer and closer as he swings.
I know what you're doing.
And he's like, hey, you want me to talk to Smitty about this? Our next golfing session? Good old Smitty.
Get all sexist Smitty.
Sexist Smitty. Piper's like,
No, Smitty is slimy. I don't like that guy.
and Leo's like, well, he's got connections, so maybe he can get a band for us.
He's only medium sexist.
I like how he's supposedly the sexist, slimy guy, but Leo does go golfing with him. Like,
Yeah.
So it's not just he's dealing with him for business. He is, like, friendly enough to go golfing.
Maybe he always has to make business deals.
He's the business guy. So he goes to go hang out with Slimy Smitty, I guess. And that's when Paige waltzes in for her part of the scene, like, doop-de-doop, guess that's over. Now it's time for Paige's.
I'm not going to connect with your guys' plot much.
Yeah. She just comes in, like, for the fight at the end. Quote, fight.
Yeah.
And that's about it. While she's going past Leo, she's like, oh, I didn't know that he golfed. He never will again.
Yeah.
And Piper says, well,
Not well. He sucks.
so Piper asks why Paige is dressed up, while Paige is wearing a normal outfit for her. This is not that dressed up. It's like a silky tank top, which is something she would wear on an average day.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I have a new charge that the elders have assigned me to. He's going to be a future white lighter, and maybe he'll be cute. So I should dress up.
Yeah, so stupid. She kind of sucks in these earlier scenes, but then the rest of her plot, she's a bit better during.
Yeah, her plot is probably the least bad part of this episode.
Yeah, it doesn't really connect to the rest of it.
Yeah. So this is when Phoebe enters the scene to complain that Piper doesn't answer call waiting. She had to answer the phone like an animal. Why can't Piper answer the phone? She's like, Agent Murphy's got a case for us. And then Paige complains about Murphy asking them to do things. And she says, we aren't Charlie's witches. That was a stretch.
Yeah.
And Phoebe agrees on this. She's like, yeah, I don't think we should be helping him out either. But Murphy's been bugging us about it because he helped us to get out of that fake death thing. And she says, that's our taxpayer dollars at work.
Shut up, Phoebe.
And then Paige is like, well, you can deal with that. I gotta go help a charge. And then Phoebe goes,
No! Help someone!
Yeah. She's mad because she doesn't want Paige to dump this on their lap because she was going to dump it on her lap because she has, I quote,
Dates! Lots and lots of dates!
this is the infamous dates, lots and lots of dates episode.
Yeah. She need boys. I need true love, so I'm just gonna date everyone.
She is so fucking annoying.
There's so many just plots of this. Like, I feel like, half the episodes we go over, it's something like this with stupid Phoebe, and it's so annoying.
It's always her, like, it's the most important thing is I go on a date. Why don't you fuck your charges, fuck your business? I gotta go on lots of dates. Does she go on any of these dates in this episode? No, she just talks on the phone with guys arranging other dates.
Just Groundhog Day with Phoebe waking up. Oh, dates!
Yeah, and like, if you were one of the guys going out with her and you found out later that night she was going on a different date, would you feel good about this?
Yeah, I'd be like, well, that must be true love.
Yeah, multiple dates a day. Just fuck off.
That's how you find true love. You shove them all in and don't really care.
Yeah. Piper is like, hey, Phoebe, you trying to get pregnant again?
I have 2 of them.
And Phoebe's like, no, I'm trying to find love. Phoebe want love.
It's different this time, yeah, because she's not trying to fulfill her stupid premonition about a baby. It's just, I need true love.
Yeah, and then she'll give up on
She could
love
have a
later.
loveless marriage with a baby. Fine.
Yeah. And then later in the season, she gives up on love, and then Coop's got to get her to focus on fucking love again.
But love isn't enough.
Love wasn't enough. Because of her having lots and lots of dates, she says she doesn't have any more time than they do to do Agent Murphy's business. Apparently, he wants them to go through some cold cases that might have been supernatural. Nothing specific, just look through cold cases, see if something seems off here. Smash cut to Phoebe and Piper at the Indiana Jones ending scene with like hundreds of boxes being guarded by top men.
Full of artifacts.
And the Agent Murphy stand-in telling them to look through stuff. And he's like, hey, don't contaminate this evidence. Wear these gloves.
Yeah. Do you think is like, too, they're like, we're going to get Brandon Quinn, like, what's the part? And it's like, you stand around in a warehouse for a little bit, tell them to look through boxes, and then fuck off.
He's like, I'm busy. I got dates. Lots and lots of dates.
What?
Huh?
How dare you?
Apparently before going there, Phoebe decided to change her outfit into an uglier outfit. She was wearing one in the kitchen scene. She looked pretty nice, actually. She had nice hair and like a nice normal shirt. Through the rest of the episode, no. She's got this ugly, lacy tank top dress thing with like this ruffle skirt attachment and like a scarf in her hair. It looks real bad. And if it's supposed to be a dress, she's wearing jeans under it. I don't know. It's ugly. Piper's also in an ugly shirt, but it's less ugly.
It's an ugly off.
It's an ugly off, and Phoebe wins. Phoebe's like,
Hey, let's just get this over with. Just find something.
then later when they find something, she's mad about it. What does she want?
Don't know what I expected.
So through this whole scene, they're trying to put on these, like, rubber gloves, right? And, like, Phoebe's having trouble with this. And this, like, later, like, Piper is like, don't wear gloves because then you'll get a premonition easier. And it's like, but why? They were told not to contaminate the evidence.
Yeah.
And then later, Phoebe's bitching at Billie about contaminating evidence and shit. And it's like, what?
Yeah, they don't know what they're trying to do.
But anyway, before any of that stuff happens, Piper complains. And she says,
Agent Murphy can't make us do this on a weekly basis because it's boring.
they're at maybe some of their most complainiest in season 8. This episode is just complain constantly.
This is horrible.
And like Billie's in on the complaining too, and part of it's because of the magic shit that happens, but she is complaining before it.
Yeah, this is one of her worst episodes, as far as I recall.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for Billie too, and she's one of the few that cares at this point. Paige is still doing all right. She kind of cares about someone. She's off doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Phoebe says that if Agent Murphy keeps bugging them, they'll just turn him into a frog. So it's fine.
Yeah, threaten someone. Who cares?
Piper gets a call, and then Phoebe hisses at her not to answer him. Piper answers it.
That's my ticket out. It's Leo's music buddy that I hate and think is slimy. Gotta go.
So she fucks off for business. And Phoebe's trying to get the gloves on, and then Piper's like,
Yeah, you'll get a premonition easier. Bye.
she says this to her like she's 5 while she's leaving. Like, she's so condescending.
I mean, Phoebe is stupid, so...
Meanwhile, at the demon headquarters, aka Magic School, which has just been abandoned, there's a sorceress demon. I don't know if all sorceresses were demons or if they just decided they were the same thing in this episode. But she's definitely a demon and a sorceress.
Yeah. She's just a multitasker.
Apparently. Her name is Zira, and apparently the actress was in a different episode as another demon. It's not related, but she was around. And this is a non sequitur. It cuts to this woman. We've never seen her before as this character anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I need more power. And like, we're just thrown into this plot here. And there's this weaselly little demon guy sidekick of hers. He's like, I'm working on it. And apparently they're working for this other big shot demon named Ty. And Zira's pretty sick of it. So she wants to get some power and then kill him and then take over. Because men are stupid or something. She's gonna throw in a bunch of stuff about how men suck, because that's the theme of the episode.
Yeah.
So Ty and some of his goons, they teleport in, and he scolds Zira about this potion. Like, he's like, you got that potion for me? Get to work, sorceress, or I'll kill you. And he's the boss because he's the biggest one there. He's like, I'm the big guy. And so he leaves after scolding her, and Zira's like, I'll be the one in charge soon, even if I have to kill every male demon to do it. And then she says, I quote, it's time for females to rule, especially this female.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the actress having to say that line.
Naked woman!
Cut to a conveniently themed class about sexism at the college.
Oh, weird. Just everyone happens to be talking about
Everyone's
this.
talking about sexism today. This is where Billie is learning about the battle of the sexes. What class is this? Sexism class? I don't understand who's teaching this and why. Professor Sexism.
He's teaching and she's like, at everything he's saying.
Smacking gum and going like,
this sucks.
Throwing popcorn at him.
Yeah, she basically might as well have done the jerk-off motion.
Yeah.
So, Professor Sexism, he says that men and women are so different. If they're so different, why don't they just kill each other? Well, because of yin and yang. Like, why don't they just kill each other? Why doesn't Ross, the largest of the friends, simply eat the others? Because yin and yang, stupid. We balance each other out. Otherwise, we just murder each other. No wonder Billie is so checked out, like,
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
because this class kind of sucks.
Yeah. And the professor, he calls her out, and he's like, what's up? You got something to say, Billie, about this whole sexism thing? And she's like, yeah, this is outdated. But not because, it's shitty and sexist. She says it's because things have turned around these days. Now men are wimps or thugs, and women are balanced. And then a guy in the class burps to prove her wrong. Beep. I'm the sexist guy.
Naked woman!
And then Professor Sexism, he gets dumber. He's like, yeah, well, like it or not, behind every good man is a good woman, and vice versa. Very heteronormative of him. They're in San Francisco. This is like the gay capital of America. And he's just like, nope. Every man and woman you got a man or a woman with them, and it's no same-sex relationships here.
Yeah, they always, a good person's always paired with another good person. You never see a good person with a bad partner.
Yeah. Or two bad people.
Yeah.
Well, Billie is like, well, no, that's not true. I'm around amazing women all the time, and they don't need guys. I don't know what amazing women she's talking about, because it can't be the charmed ones.
Yeah.
And what about, like, Leo? Like, come on. Like, there's at least one guy involved here, if that's what she means.
Yeah. Yeah, Leo, he golfs with Smitty, so fuck him.
Fucking golfing shit. Amazing. Maybe she's talking about 3 other women she hangs out with and not them.
It's ones we don't see.
Yeah. So they argue a bunch, and then one of the guys is like, yeah, well, women aren't witches. They're cut off.
Oh, he gets dope slapped.
And Billie says there will only be balance in the world when women rule. She seems to be saying the same thing that Zira thinks independently before any of this stuff with this magic belt happened.
Yeah.
So apparently she thought women should rule the world too.
Yeah, so they're pretty like-minded anyway.
It really makes you think in different circumstances they could have been friends. It's really sad.
Well, you'd think it's kind of building something with Billie and Zira until it's abruptly gone.
Yeah, they gotta kind of rush through all of that because they need more complaining scenes.
Yeah.
And then the professor is like, shut up, my stupid yin-yang thing is going to be on the midterm, so better learn it.
Do the yin-yang exam.
Yeah, do the yin-yang exam. And then Billie gets a phone call just in the middle of class, and she's like, yeah, I gotta answer this. Everyone's listening. You're like, what? Excuse me? And then, like, everyone's annoyed at her, and then it's like Phoebe, she's like, yeah, there's a demon emergency. So Billie's like, gotta go, bye. I'm the main character of this scene. And then they use another take of the guy burping to end the scene. This is clearly just a second take that they had.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, we don't know how to end it. I don't know.
Burp. Just like Night at the Roxbury. Oh, smash the window again at the end.
I don't know how to end this movie.
It's as good as Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
The stupid charm.
Is this episode better or worse than Night at the Roxbury? It's shorter.
Yeah, they're kind of similar.
I don't know. I'd take Night at the Roxbury.
Chris Kattan or the Charmed ones.
Chris Kattan is probably worse than the Charmed ones, but he does have Will Ferrell, and I'm not sure.
It's the yin yang.
Yeah, he's the yin and yang behind every Chris Kattan. There's a Will Ferrell. Until they can't be friends anymore because they had
just
no fair
Corky
on set.
Romanos it up.
I was like,
Anyway, at P3, Piper is talking to Slimy Smitty. And Smitty's like, I don't know, people don't want to be part of a club that hasn't had a band in 2 months. As if, like, any band wouldn't just want a platform anyway, but...
Probably not a dive like P3.
A dive like P3. Well, she wants a good band, and he's like, I don't know, maybe I can get you, like, a chick band, but there aren't that many hip ones around. Chick band, because everyone's got to be sexist.
They're all lining up to play the bronze, because they're like, I heard there's another murder near there. Let's go play that shithole.
No, I'm gonna go play the college dorm room in that one Buffy episode. That makes sense.
Or Sabrina Spellman's house.
And then meanwhile, fucking, what was the band that was at the Stride Gum Factory?
One Republic.
One Republic, yeah.
Not
like,
Remy Zero.
Yeah, Remy Zero. One Republic's like, get on our level.
Yeah. Play gum factories across the country. Anyway, Piper's pretty pissed at sexist Smitty. And he's like, whoa, don't get so emotional. She looks like she's gonna blow him up. So Leo's like, I gotta intervene here. I'm gonna go talk with him out here. And Piper's like, I don't want any favors from him. How many times has she just murdered someone during a business deal?
There's probably a lot we didn't see on screen. Mm-hmm. They have to sweep up the ashes every night. So as Smitty is leaving with Leo, he says, I don't know, maybe I can get you Liz Phair. Lowly Liz Phair, at the time, was a pretty big name and considered pretty hip at the moment. And then they're like, I don't know, I can get you a shitty chick band like Liz Phair. She's not even I don't think that's a band, that's a singer, but like,
the stupid girl.
Oh, stupid girl, Liz Phair. So he's like, yeah, all right, we'll talk later, Leo, and the old ball and chain isn't around. And then Leo chuckles and shakes his hand. He's trying to, like, do business stuff, obviously. He's like, I'm going to ignore this stuff so that I can get a band. But also, like I pointed out, he was golfing with him, so I think he's cool with it. This is when Piper struts into the room, one hand on her hip, demanding to know why Leo is being so nice to him. She said, why didn't you throw him out on his macho pig ass? Leo's like, I don't know, Smitty kind of had a point. Just relax.
What, you calling me emotional?
Yeah. Starts foaming at the mouth. You're saying I'm out of control! Like a little.
She bites him, and then the zombie virus spreads. Meanwhile, Phoebe is looking through boxes. Apparently her demon emergency was just wanting Billie to do this for her, because she has dates, lots and lots of dates. She calls her in the middle of class, saying this is an emergency. So she can look through fucking evidence boxes for something. There's not a specific case they're looking into.
No.
It's just in case something is going on.
And it's something that's not to do with Billie at all. This is something they're, doing for Agent Murphy because he helped them. Billie wasn't a part of that.
Yeah, this is more them just shuffling their shit onto her because they're fucking lazy.
Like, Phoebe sucks so much.
It's like doing the right thing, hot potato through season 8. Just you. But anyway, she is talking on the phone to Paige about this. Billie hasn't arrived yet. Paige is in a bad part of town, and she's waiting to talk to her new charge. This is a guy named Speed. I don't think they ever say what his real name is. I'm assuming Speed is not his actual name.
Probably Sonic.
Sonic, yeah. He's miles per hour. Yeah, but he is a guy who's in trouble with some gang stuff. He's at a crossroads in his life. Paige has got to help him take the right path in life. And then Phoebe's like, yeah, that's cool. Anyway, back to our problems! Paige is like, wait, the guy's gonna get beat up. I gotta go. And this upsets Phoebe. She's like, no, don't hang up. So, Paige saves him from getting beat up. You know the drill with this whole gang stuff. It's a pretty rote plot. So this is when a car comes barreling into the alley and tries to run down Speed. I think he sort of jumps up at the last second and lands on the hood. Otherwise he
jumps
would get
into
run
a
over.
Ball and kind of destroys the car when he comes in.
But if he hadn't jumped, he would just be dead.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be slammed into a fence. And this is our introduction to Henry, who otherwise is, I think, one of the better characters they've done on the show.
Mm-hmm.
This is Paige's love interest. He's a parole officer, but man, what a fucking awful way to introduce him. I'm gonna fucking run you down because you skipped on parole. I don't think you're allowed to do that, man. Yeah, he's his parole officer. He's here to run him down and arrest him. So he takes him away. Bake him away, toys. Meanwhile, Billie is there now looking through boxes. She's with Phoebe looking through boxes and complaining about men. Phoebe says to be careful with all that crime scene evidence, like she wasn't before, while she's also talking with a date on the phone. Billie picks up an old pair of underwear. I'm not sure how old it's supposed to be. It looks pretty ancient. And she's like,
Is this the kind of bondage that men want us to wear?
And Phoebe is pissed because Billie is ruining her call. And she's like,
I can't help it because men are bad.
and while they're talking about this, Billie casually picks up a human skull. There is a rotting human skull there. I'm like, why is this in evidence boxes? Surely this should be at a morgue somewhere or something. I don't think they put human remains in there.
She sticking her tongue through the eye socket. Really weird.
This is the only man that I'll get with.
Phoebe pissily hangs up the phone,
I'll call you later.
and she's like,
Lay off the male bashing. That's my job.
Billie's like, I can't help it. I've been on a lot of bad dates lately, so I'm going to complain about dudes. And then she's like, hey, what's this weird-looking golden belt? Puts it on. As you do.
Yeah.
This proceeds to turn her into a sexy costume, which is like this.
Just into the costume.
Yeah.
She vanishes.
And she's just a walking costume. Might as well.
Yeah.
This is like a sexy faux leather blue crop top with a leather skirt and some boots. It's pretty half-assed, if I'm being honest.
It would have been embarrassed to be on that reality show Stan Lee did.
Oh, who wants to be a superhero?
Yeah, he wants to be a superhero.
I don't know, because I feel like that's the costume they would wear when they're auditioning, because it's clearly off-the-rack stuff, and then before they made the real costumes. Yeah, it feels really half-assed, like they don't have any money, which I guess they didn't at that point, because it does look like just off-the-rack stuff instead of making a costume.
Mm-hmm.
They had a superhero episode earlier in the show where they had superhero costumes. But anyway, that's what she's going to be wearing through the majority of this episode. Phoebe is pissed off about this. She's like,
we're screwed now. I'll have to cancel my dates.
Oh, the biggest tragedy ever.
She's just pissed because she has to do something. It's not because she's concerned for Billie. She doesn't know if this is a good or bad thing at this point. She assumes it's bad, and I guess she's right, because it tends to go that way, but it could have been any other thing. I don't know. But anyway, cut to Billie sexily walking down the street, but she looks upset about all the catcalls. So she's like trying to be sexy for the fan service, but like, ugh, why are all these men catcalling me?
It's a ridiculous amount, too. Like, no one's ever seen someone dress with, like, I don't know. She's not even that scantily clad, like medium.
Medium scantily clad.
Like in San Francisco. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I feel like they probably see a lot of people in, like, scantily clad or campy outfits in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people catcalling her. Phoebe is walking up ahead, complaining. She's complaining that Piper took the car and that Paige can orb and she has to walk home. And she says that they don't think about her because everything's always about them. Really fucking rich, Phoebe. There's a lot of like quotes in this episode that I used in my videos because they're pretty good encapsulations of like how fucking unaware and hypocritical these characters are at this point.
Yeah. They suck.
So, Billie can't get this belt off, so they gotta figure out how to do this. This is all just a big pain in the ass to Phoebe. Billie says, "This blows." And then Phoebe lists off all of the sexy things that she turned into, which is why the main actresses said that they aren't gonna do it anymore. She's like, yeah, this is all the things we did, so you gotta do it now.
Yeah.
All the catcalls are getting a little much, so they call a taxi. Billie accidentally pulls the door off, and the cabbie is only mildly annoyed by this as they put the door back and run away. This whole thing with the super strength, she like messes up some doors, but she doesn't use the super strength for anything else.
No,
she
nothing
doesn't fight
useful.
anyone. She uses lightning
It's just
powers.
doors.
Yeah. Like, she just hits people with lightning any other time in the episode, or she, like, runs, but she never uses
She runs
the strength
through
for
a
anything.
door. Again, it's just to attack doors.
Yeah. Doors are male-coded, so...
Really against Jim Morrison.
At the magic school, Zira is stirring a pot and looking bored. When's my plot gonna start? This is the audience's feelings at this point. Her sidekick guy, he comes in and he's like, hey, I might be able to get some power for you. The golden belt of Gaia? I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
Gaia? Whatever.
Yeah,
This
Earth.
special magical belt has been activated. This belt was the goddess's gift to Hippolyta, and basically, if a lady wears it, it gives her powers. But if someone evil puts it on, it'll destroy them. And if someone good puts it on, they're forced to use its power and then driven mad. So I don't know what's the point.
Yeah. Like, why'd I make this belt? I don't know.
I don't know.
Not a lot of use to this.
Kira's I wrote Kira, it's Zira, not Kira. Kira's a
Major
real
Kira
name. Zira's
shows
not.
up and kills them all.
Yeah. So Zira's like, well, what good is this to me if I can't wear this belt myself? And then he's like, well, what if you control this lady using the belt? And then you'll have a really unreliable temporary source of power. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
If you can get to her before she, goes mad and then dies. And she's like, yeah, sold. I'm doing it. So at the police station, Paige is having her plot. She goes over to Henry and she's like, hey, you almost hit me with your car on the way out. No mention about the fact he almost killed Speed with his car, which seems like the more urgent thing, but Henry's like, yeah, sorry about that. And she's like, oh. And immediately she's cool. She's like, yeah, I'm just checking in on Speed. What's up?
And then Henry's like, I'll get you. You believe in people?
Huh? Perhaps I can try believing in people. At one point in this episode, like, they're having this argument about it. Like, it's like, well, why do you believe in him so much? And she's like, why don't you believe in him? And he's like, well, I did for 10 years. And they established that he is 18. So, like, was he dealing with him since he was 8 years old?
Apparently.
I don't know. It's not impossible, but it just seems... Why was this one parole officer dealing with this kid for 10 years since he was 8?
That seems odd.
I feel like there were probably different people dealing with him when he was a minor, though.
You would think.
A parole officer. They even talk about, like, when, you know, he's like not a minor anymore. Like, wouldn't it be like juvie stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But anyway, they argue for a bit, and then Speed shows up. He's let off with a warning. Because he was apparently, like, dealing with this gangster guy, and that's why he broke his parole. This comes into play later because there's, like, a robbery that this guy is planning that they think Speed might be involved with. So anyway, at the manor, Piper says she'd rather lose the club than get Smitty's help. She will tear everything down rather than work with a sexist man.
You know, she's so desperate to book a band earlier, but now rather destroy it.
Yeah. Leo's like, well, we gotta work with this guy if we're gonna save the business. And then Piper's like, you think that I'm being too emotional. You're sexist.
You think I'm
She starts blowing up everything in the office. Like, yeah, I think a little.
I mean, seeing someone's over-emotional is used by sexists a lot, but, like, Piper is over-emotional.
Yeah, she's screaming and thinking about killing people.
And she's like, all right, fine, you can deal with Smitty, man to man. And then she smacks him on the arm condescendingly. So this is when Billie enters. She rips the door off the hinges. Phoebe explains the situation, and she's like, you can't get mad at her because it's your fault, Piper. And then she's like, well, it's your fault because Billie found it in a box that you were supposed to be looking through. Like, shut the fuck up.
This is the nicest Phoebe is in this episode.
Be nice to Billie because it's your fault.
Yeah, because it's your fault.
Exposition Leo has all the answers. He half-assedly says what's going on with the belt.
Yeah, he says, like, oh, that superhero belt. Oh, that sucks. I gotta go golfing. I don't have time for this.
He's like, that looks like Hippolyta's belt. And then Piper's like,
Hippo who? Hippopotamus? Huh?
Billie gets mad during this conversation, and then she accidentally makes Leo invisible. And then Piper's response is,
Oh no, why'd you go and do that? Who's gonna pick up the kids?
what the fuck? It's like everyone's competing to be the Margoyle in this episode. Who's the worst person?
Mm-hmm.
So Piper's like,
I know what to do. I'm gonna blow up the belt.
This doesn't work. She could have just blown Billie up.
Yeah, Billie kind of gets mad about that. Did you just try to kill me?
Yeah, and then this is supposed to be out of character? Like, excuse you? You tried to blow her up.
Yeah, like, like, no, she's right to get mad about that.
So, Phoebe and Billie, they go upstairs to look through the Book of Shadows, and then real quick, Invisible Leo is like, hey, if we don't get the belt off, Billie's gonna die. You should probably know that.
Yeah. Anyway, have you seen my 3-wood?
Invisible Leo, they have Brian Krause say all of his lines via ADR, like voiceover, but it's like, it always sounds so cartoony.
Yeah,
because he
sounds like he's in the booth reading the lines.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's on the set. So I don't know. Like, it just feels like he has to loop his lines occasionally, right? I don't know how he doesn't make it sound like he's there, but it definitely sounds cartoony.
Mm-hmm.
And he also like emphasized. I think he like says it in a more cartoony way than he would say it there. So it's weird. But anyway, so Zira's plan to get Billie to work with her is to get Ty to attack some random lady in an alley and then say, like, this'll get this lady with this belt to come here and then you can use the belt for your own desires or whatever. And then this guy didn't look into what this belt is. He's just like, yeah, sure, this man-hating belt, I want this, so I'm gonna get this lady to come here. Like, it's just contrived. And, like, the whole plan I thought was just to make, like, Billie her friend, but like she doesn't really attempt to do that through the episode. It's like she lures her there and then just goes like, haha, I got an evil plan, you want to go get in on it with me?
Well, she's like, I got a I hate men plan, and Billie's like, ooh, I'm interested, let me subscribe to your newsletter.
So at the manor, Billie tries a potion on the belt. She throws it at it and it doesn't work. And then she complains that she scratched her pretty belt.
Pretty belt! You're being taken over by the belt!
This is such bad dialogue. They could have had any other way to, like, show that she was being influenced by this belt and, like, turning into a man-hating crazy person. Maybe they shouldn't have started the episode with her being a man-hating crazy person, and then maybe it would have seemed like a...
Yeah, you might have shown a
contrast.
Transition there.
Yeah. But then Billie's like, some sexist bullshit's going on. I gotta go! And then she does this bad speed effect out of the room.
And then runs over the door.
Yeah. And then, she runs outside, like Invisible Leo is trying to fix the broken door, and then when Billie speeds by, the door comically falls on top of him. More Leo abuse.
Even when he's not there, he's still abused.
So, in the alley, Ty and his goons are attacking a girl with, I think they're attacking her with the same lightning powers that Billie uses. Because it's definitely them using it, but it's the same lightning effect, so why did they give them the same?
I don't know.
That's very weird. But anyway, Billie shows up so they can do a cringy zoom in on her while trying to, like, look cool. Like,
crappy superhero generic tune.
This was definitely during Smallville's run, too, right? Like, they're like, look, superhero stuff.
She said it like blurring at one point, just thinking when they called him the red and blue blur.
Yeah, that must be why they did that. Terrible. She easily disintegrates the goons. And then Ty gets hit in the shoulder and runs away. And then Billie sighs, oh, men! So at the manor, Piper and Phoebe get Leo out from under the door and complain.
Is there any way you can make his voice disappear?
This is when Billie speeds in and breaks the door again.
Wow.
Piper and Phoebe fold their arms and stare at her pissily. This is when the belt fucks things up more, and suddenly that makes Piper and Phoebe sexist. Somehow this is supposed to be out of the normal for them.
Yeah, so what's the difference?
There is no difference. Like, they're acting the same. And in fact, they start acting like that later in the episode when the belt is not affecting them, so...
And they've acted like this many times in other episodes, so...
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have your characters be man-hating shrews, and then maybe this would make a difference. So Piper bitches at Leo, again, not very different, and then Phoebe answers her phone and yells at her date, saying that she's busy. Again, this is normal. She's always like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then Billie's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had a midterm. Gotta go. Before she leaves, Piper's like, why don't you make Leo visible real quick? And then Phoebe's like, why? And Piper, this is not for any altruistic reason. She's just like, yeah, I need him to go play golf and get a band. So you gotta make him visible, okay?
Though she would rather destroy the bar than have it be through Smitty. Now it's okay, go do it, Leo.
Yeah, and also I don't know why she thinks that Billie can do this now, because earlier she tried to and didn't know how to work the belt, but now she's like, do it, and then Billie's like, oh, I guess if I tried a little bit, I could do it.
Yeah.
So at the magic school, Zira complains that after one attack, Ty still isn't dead, and the male demons are still in control. She thought the entire demon patriarchy was going to get taken down in this one fight.
Apparently.
Really
it takes
impatient.
2 fights. I mean, come on.
So, meanwhile, we're back at the Henry and Paige plot. He finds her snooping around at Speed's place. And he automatically assumes that she's broken in and not that she just knew him and was hanging out with him, because it seemed like they had some prior relationship. I don't know why he's like, hey, how'd you get in here? It's locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when they argue some more about why they each believes or does not believe in Speed and their various reasons. And then Henry is like, well, there's a robbery that's going to be going on soon, and I bet that he's going to be there. And Paige is like, I bet he won't be. So they go on a stakeout to investigate the robbery. Meanwhile, Billie struts into class.
You have to mention that, he said, yeah, the Speed's gotta, he's called in to do a job, and then Paige goes, oh, that's good though, isn't it? A job? It's like, come on, Paige.
Stupid. She's hanging out with that guy from that painting episode. What was his name again?
I don't know, Petey McGee.
Petey McGee. Good Good old Petey McGee. So anyway, Billie comes to class late. She struts in her superhero outfit with her hands on her hips like... She's like, I'm ready to take my midterm.
Yeah, it's like at some point she forgot how to ever move her arms from her hips. She just walks everywhere like that.
A lot of people doing that pose. Like Piper's doing that pose. I feel like Phoebe's doing that pose at one point. The professor is annoyed because she showed up like halfway into this midterm. He's like, you're probably going to get a C now, even if you start like right now. And then she's like, I'm mad, and turns all of the women sexist, and then they go into a brawl.
Yeah, that she's hot.
Shut up, pig!
This is insane. The women are like throwing punches. One of them's doing a spinning kick. Like, what the fuck is this?
Professor Sexism, when they start this, goes, stop, you don't have to do this.
You don't have to do this.
They're like, oh, okay.
They have this great shot of one of the extras like running at the camera like, ah!
You see blood coming out from the door of the lecture hall.
Yeah, she definitely like ate him partially at least. That one extra like really had like some crazy faces.
Billie walks in and is like, looks like I'm not getting a C.
Ding, ding, ding. No, while this is going on, she's mildly concerned and she goes, this isn't right. And then casually walks out of the room, leaving them to it. Like, well,
not right.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything to stop it.
Well, see ya. Big gulps, huh? So when she leaves the room, that's when Zira shows up and she's like, hey, I can help you out. She has no real explanation. She doesn't say who she is, what she wants. She's just this spooky-looking stranger, and Billie's like, yeah, all right.
I'm the professor of demonology.
She follows Zira apparently to magic school, the Demon Haven, and doesn't like wonder what's going on. Like, I'll see what she has to say before.
Yeah, they get to magic school before Zira starts explaining anything.
She's like, this seems on the up and up.
Like, yeah, I'll follow you anywhere.
Maybe it's because she's going crazy. It's fine.
She might as well just pop in, follow me. Okay.
Huh? Meanwhile, Piper and Phoebe, apparently they went to the school, didn't find her there, so they come back home. During the course of this time, the door was fixed. It's fine. The door's fine now. So Leo, instead of like looking into this, had to fix the door for them, did he?
Yeah. While putting his hands on his hips.
So exposition Leo strikes again. He's like, yeah, this belt hates men because Hercules killed Hippolyta, so... we should probably get off of Billie because I think she'll try and kill all the men in the world. I don't know, maybe. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Anyway, have you seen my putter?
He basically sighs his way through like everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe she'll try and kill all the men in the world?
Yeah, he says this as he's digging through the closet for golf clubs and stuff.
And then like Piper is like,
Wait a minute, this includes our sons too.
as if like it would have been fine if all the men were killed in the world, but not her sons.
Not her sons.
And then like Phoebe says, oh great, just when I start dating again. You fucking bitch. And then Piper's like,
Well, does that mean our only hope is for the belt to drive Billie insane and kill her? Can we do that?
Write her off real quick. Classic Piper.
they don't care about Billie at all. And Phoebe, nice guy Phoebe shows up again. She's like, I don't know, maybe we should probably try to save her. And Piper's like, all right, well, Leo, you go golfing and stay out of the way and get me a band. And Leo's like, hey, I'm the only one not affected by her belt. And they're like, no, we'll keep our distance.
It's just to say Billie. I mean, we don't care if it goes south.
Piper just wants a band, and she refuses to deal with this guy. She could have gone and talked to this guy and just kept her cool, and then Leo could help out without being affected by the belt. But no. Stupid.
And she needs this thing that she said she would rather not get and destroy her club over, but now it's more important than Billie's life.
So Billie's talking to Zira at magic school. She's speeching at her about men and women and maybe they can rule the world together. What do you think?
Yeah, I never thought about it. This is like the downfall of Goron. It's just a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Billie seems mildly conflicted, but not. And Zira's like, hey, but if women were ruling, there would be no good or evil. That makes sense. So she goes over to Sidekick Guy, like 3 feet away, and he whispers to her that Billie's going to be dead soon based on nothing. Like, he's like, she looks bad, but she doesn't really look bad.
No, she looks
like,
the same.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she's probably going to die soon. I don't know how Zira thought that she was going to help her take over the world if it was that quick.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
then
maybe if she made giant vegetables?
And then Zira's like, well, she just has to live long enough to challenge Ty. All of this while they're in front of Billie, looking right at her, apparently just not listening to their conversation.
Yeah. She's distracted by a fly or something.
Yeah, like they're not that far away from her. She would hear them saying this. And they're looking at her. It's not like they're looking a different direction or trying to be covert.
There's plenty of other male demon leaders that we see after this episode. Like,
this guy might
just
as well be
this
Margoyle.
one guy.
He has nothing.
Yeah.
Like he leads no one but those goons that were
he
dead.
is no Margoyle.
He is no Margoyle.
He's barely anything.
Margoyle's still alive at this point because he didn't get killed till a later episode. He's the one really running things behind the scenes.
She should have been scared of Margoyle, the coming of Margoyle.
I don't know what the other demons are doing in magic school at the time, because apparently, like, all of them live there, but we only see them in, like, the main room as if they own the place. And it's like, well, I don't think Ty owned the place. I don't think Margoyle owned the place. They're just in other rooms, but they can only enter the 2 sets they have at the moment.
Maybe the other ones are hanging out in the caves that we don't see anymore.
But anyway, Henry and Paige, they're on a stakeout. And Paige needs to go to the bathroom, and then Henry suggests she pee in a bottle. The sexual tension is palpable.
Pee in a bottle.
Yeah. This is them, coming to an understanding with each other. Anyway, Speed is there. He is in the getaway truck, I guess, for this robbery.
Yeah, they wanted him to be the driver.
Yeah, he's in the front seat with that guy he was talking to earlier. The other guys that are with them go in. He changes his mind and then tries to get away. He ends up stabbed in the process. The other guys get busted. Paige and Henry look disappointed. Cutting to the next scene. Dun, dun, dun. At the manor, Phoebe and Piper are trying to figure out how to find Billie. A lot of their scenes are just like, we don't know how to find her. How do we find her? She got away. How do we find her, though? Let's go home and talk about this.
Can we get like a Billie whistle or something?
They're like, hey, what about that spell we can use to just summon a witch? Yeah, let's do that. Fiddle-dee-dee, bring Billie to me.
Might as well.
Yeah. Billie is summoned. She's kind of mad about this. They're like, don't worry, we're your friends. Oh, get her!
Yeah. Trap her now!
So they like throw a force field at her. And she does this super bad scream. Like she's like, ah! As they do this like slow-mo like explosion around her.
The background turns into a green screen effect.
Yeah. It looks super bad. And she says, there's no wrath like a woman scorned before she speeds out. It's like, that doesn't... It's a stretch.
Yeah.
So she goes to magic school and she sees Zira and she's like, you got me. I'm all in. I was like, was she not all in before?
Yeah, I thought they were already teamed up.
I don't know. So back at the manor, we're back to Piper and Phoebe dinking around. Like, what do we do? How do we find Billie? Then Leo comes back from golfing. He didn't check it. He's supposed to be out of the way so he doesn't get killed by man-hating Billie. But then he just comes back home like, oh, well, how was work today? Did you get rid of that belt?
You get rid of Billie?
And then Phoebe, she complains about Leo. She's like, oh, good, you were out golfing while we're out here trying to save your gender.
Shut up, Phoebe.
She was there when Piper told him to go golfing. Why does she say this? It's not because the belt is affecting her.
She's the biggest hypocrite in the universe to say something like that.
Anyway, but like she saw Piper tell him to do it.
But she has no damn right with how many times she has put things off for her stupid column or dates or other frivolous bullshit.
We're out there saving your gender.
You weren't. You summoned her there, and then she blew up the force field and left. You didn't do shit.
You called someone failed horribly.
Yeah. The fuck have you? You've just been at home going, but what do we do?
Yeah. Well, that didn't work.
All you've done is complain all episode.
Well, let's watch some TV.
And I gotta emphasize, this is not because the belt is affecting her, but she's saying the same thing that they would theoretically be saying under this belt's influence. So why do you have your characters be sexist assholes in the episode where they're supposed to be out of character as sexist assholes?
Yeah.
This is when Leo casually sighs, and he's like, oh, well, maybe we could find a spell to take off the belts at magic school or something. And then he's like,
maybe we should have let that place fall to the demons.
And they're like, well, how do we do this? And he's like, I don't know, maybe invisible again or something.
I love there's all this useful shit supposedly still at magic school.
They don't bother to go get it.
Stupid dipshits.
They just gave up on magic school, and the demons don't use any of this stuff
to
help them either.
They're so stupid.
No
Everyone's
one
an idiot.
This.
They're all dumb.
Meanwhile, the Henry and Paige plot, they discover that Speed backed out of the robbery, so maybe he's good after all.
Yeah. It's like, look, he got stabbed by the other guy. He's innocent.
He got stabbed. That means good.
He does tell them the story. He's like, I was trying to back out and the guy stabbed me. And he's like, oh, well, maybe.
Maybe. Back to the station with you. So at magic school, Billie blows some more guys up. Just starts the scene blowing guys up.
Yeah, it's like we join the scene in progress.
Yeah. And then Ty is there, injured and about to die, and he goes, there's no battle of the sexes!
Just good and evil!
She blows him out like, shut up!
Like, wow, I can't believe that guy was so powerful.
Are we supposed to sympathize with Ty here, actually? Like he was just defending his sex.
There's no battle of the sexes.
So, this is when Zira, via ADR, says that's almost anticlimactic.
Yeah, they really had to jam that dumb line in.
This is the second of 3 times, I believe, that they say this during the course of the show. They also have the source say it's almost anticlimactic, and they also have Zanku say it. I don't know why they keep like this was a catchphrase they thought they needed to keep going, but just a few times.
They thought it like covers for the fact that their things were really anticlimactic.
They could say that every episode.
It was like, wow, yeah, that really sucked, didn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of no payoff, this is when Zira's sidekick guy runs in. He's like, hey, is he dead yet? And then Billie just blows him up too, for good measure.
Yeah.
I don't know why he thought he would team up with the lady planning on killing all of the male demons and thought he would get away.
Real flawed thinking there.
So while this is going on, Invisible Leo has showed up. He was walking through, like, Ty's blood, leaving bloody footprints, and I thought that would mean something, but I guess not. He's, like, looking for spells through the books. This is when the Charmed Ones waltz in looking evil. Once again.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Play the supervillain theme.
Yeah, why do they always look so sinister when they're trying to make them look badass? So, Invisible Leo, he tosses them a book, and then tackles Billie. Like runs into her, tackles her to the ground, while the girls read this spell, and that gets rid of the belt. Paige orbs the belt onto Zira, and she goes, uh-oh, before blowing up. Almost anticlimactic.
Yeah, like,
and for her.
Like, they took the spell at her orbit? Is that the idea?
I think Paige can... Well, they took it off of... They took it off of Billie, so Paige can
so
orb
then
things.
she can orbit now.
Yeah, they took it off with the spell, so she's able to orbit on
it.
It
almost makes it seem like she could have orbed it at any time.
I don't know. I would assume not.
You'd assume not, but no one tried.
She wasn't part of that plot prior to
she wasn't there.
She got called in and she's like, huh? So
we can't call Paige. She's not a part of this plot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. It feels like they should have done something more with this Zero Billie thing.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been a little bit of an arc or something if Charmed ever wanted to do anything with anything.
Yeah, maybe Billie should have had more agency in this situation or something, but
It would have helped, too.
yeah, the Charmed ones have to half-assedly save the day.
Hmm.
And Billie doesn't remember what's been going on. She's like, huh, what happened? And they're like, men and women were working together, yin and yang, because Leo tackled you. Yay. Sexism is over.
Yeah, we solved it.
Yay. Anyway, end of that. So at the police station, we got to wrap this up. Henry makes a call. He's got Speed with him. And he makes a call and he's like, hey, so that other guy, did he have a knife with blood on it? Oh, cool, thanks. Hangs up. No one's gonna look into, like, whose blood this is?
Yeah.
And he's like, turns out that you were innocent all along. Well, you're free to go. Just bleed out in the elevator over there. It's like, can he not get medical attention? Like,
No.
he calls Paige, who I guess went to bed. She didn't go see what's going on. She didn't try to, like, get Leo to heal him or do it. This is her charge. And she's like, well. And how early was this? The others are at P3. And she.
Paige has been going nonstop for the last few days.
Yes, she was on speed the whole time and just crashed. And then, like, he calls her and he's like, yeah, you were right. It turns out that he was good and I'm going to try and figure you out. Thanks for doing that. And Speed owes you. And then she shrugs like, yeah, he owes me. So, kind of a shitty ending to that, but...
It's kind of funny. She shrugs, like, in a response to something he says, and he's like, I can't see you shrugging over the phone.
It's a silent agreement. She knows. Yeah, so everyone else is at P3 partying. And then Phoebe's like, yeah, Billie, you were bound to turn into something someday. Happens to all of us. Billie says she's still confused about men, and then Phoebe says they're just as confused about them. Bostonia! So then a concert begins with Liz Phair, that stinky, lowly Liz Phair. And a random handsome man smiles at Billie. So I guess sexism is over.
Yeah, whoa.
The end.
And Phoebe goes, he's mine!
Oh, by the way, Liz Phair was apparently the last musician they ever booked at P3 on the show. So
Yeah.
8 episodes into season 8, they're like, we're done.
Flair blew up P3 after her set was done.
Yeah, I guess she really never really recovered from those 2 months not having bands. After Liz Phair, they're like, you only got Liz Phair?
Oh.
We're not going to your place. And she's like,
Thank
wait,
you.
I wanted to be a chef the whole time. Close it down.
We're going to go play Drew Carey's Garage.
Anyway, that's the end of the episode. What are your final thoughts, Phelan?
Ugh.
Good?
Yeah, real good. You know, just everyone was very annoying. Even Billie. Except, like, once Paige got separated from the rest, besides a few slip-ups, her plot was okay. But, ugh, a lot of this was very annoying to sit through.
Yeah. Stinky season 8.
Mhm.
Paige's stuff, like, was better, but there were still things about it, like Henry trying to run the guy down and
Yeah.
just forgetting about Speed at the end kind of felt half-assedly. Like, he didn't really have a beginning or conclusion that was very good to that, but
Yeah, but
she was saved from most of the other plot, at least.
she was actively trying to help someone through most of her plot, so it's way better than anything else going on. She's not like, oh, I could let him die. I don't care. Like, stupid Piper about Billie. We kill her off. Who cares?
All right, well, who's your Margoyle and who's your Carman, Phelan?
Margot's going to Phoebe because of dates. Lots and lots
Yeah,
of
me
dates.
too, for that same reason.
Yeah,
There were a lot of Margoyles, but that's pretty
yeah.
annoying.
She was the most annoying and the most selfish out of a bunch of people being annoying and selfish.
She did have the least pressing thing, and she complained the most.
Yeah. It's just very annoying. Caraman is Paige just for having a slightly better plot and caring about someone.
I think we're in agreement on this one. stinky episode.
Yeah.
But I think we can agree that sexism is over.
Yeah, it's amazing they solved it.
If you agree that sexism is over, I'd appreciate it if you gave us a like, subscribe, or maybe a comment about how sexism is over. Wherever you're enjoying this on, you can find us in audio form wherever podcasts are enjoyed, or on YouTube under youtube.com/movie nights the series, or Phelan stuff is under youtube.com/Phelis. You can also support us on Patreon, vote for episodes of Charmed Rewind, or see things early, and other such stuff. You can find me at patreon.com/movie nights and Phelan under patreon.com/Phelis. Thanks to Peter Hunter for editing the podcast and for the amazing theme song. You can find him at Preacher Hunter on most social media and on YouTube, and you should check out his stuff. What hashtag should we use?
Hashtag sexism's over.
Hashtag who's gonna pick up the kids? Hashtag lots and lots of dates. Alright, I think that's it. We'll see you Charmanders next time. Bye!